Okay, so we start with the question number 1A. Round off Roman 1, 9.67 to ones. Okay, so to round off question number 2A, simplify we add 1 Roman to 1 number with the place value of ones. Power 1 over that number 4 is 9 times 3 power 1 over 4. This is because the number before it, which is 6, is greater than 5. 2. Therefore, okay, so this is the exponential problem. Let us express each term as a base 3. We are going to have 3 power, so for Roman 3 2, over 4 we are supposed to round off 3 power 0.205 to 1 decimal place. 3 power, okay, so for this one 0.205 becomes 0.2. Let us add the exponent number with a single base 3, which is 0, is less than 5. 3 power, so our answer is going to be plus 1 over 2 minus 2 over 2. And which after solving these values, we are supposed to have round off 0, which equals to 1, and this is our final answer. Okay, for this one, this number is going to be 0.02, and for Roman 2, number 9 supposed to simplify 5. Log so 10 the answer is going to be plus log 8.1 base 3. Okay, so this is the logarithmic problem. Been asked to estimate the value. Let us now apply the product rule of logarithm for this expression. We are going to have log 10 okay, so times 8.1 base 3 equals to numbers. Log 81 base 3. 10 times express 81 in exponential form 0.02 base 3, which we are going to have is going to be 3 power 4 base 3. Okay, let us now apply the exponential rule. So let us now multiply by 100 both log on numerator and the denominator. We are going to have which we know that log 200 over same base equals to 1, which so after solving our log 3 base 3 equals therefore to 1. Our expression so next is going to be estimated 4 as times 100, and this is going to be, and this our is the final answer. Okay, so part B of the question, simplify log 125 base 5 equals to 3 log plus under root 2 times find the value 4 minus 2 under root 2. Again, this is the logarithmic problem. This is the radical problem, and to simplify the expression, let us express the numbers in exponential form. Expression as follows. So we are going to log have 5 power 3 base 5 equals to 3 times 4 power 6 minus 3 base 2 times 2. Okay, applying the exponential rule of logarithm on both sides, we are going to have brackets under root 2 3 times 4 log 5 minus base 5 equals to times 2 6 under log 2 base 2. Okay, let us multiply them. We are going to have log 5 12 5 which equals to 1 under root 2, log 2 base plus is also going to be 1 under root 2. Okay, so applying these values, we are going to let us now combine the like terms. 3n equals to 6. Solving for n minus we are 4 going to have plus n in brackets 2 4 minus 6, and this is our final answer. Let's keep computing. We are going to have 8 minus 2 times under root 2, and this is our final answer. For Roman 2, we are supposed to simplify under root 40 times under root 45. Okay, so to simplify this, we can express the numbers in terms of their prime factors. So we are going to have under root 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times under root 3 times 3 times 5. Okay, so let us now separate the squares. We are going to have under root in brackets 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times under root in brackets 3 times 3 times 5. The root for 2 times 2 equals to 2, and the root for 3 times 3 equals to 3. Then we are going to have 2 times under root 2 times 5 times 3 times under root 5. Let us combine the roots. We are going to have 2 times 3 times under root 2 times 5 times 5. The root for 5 times 5 equals to 5, so we are going to have 2 times 3 times 5 times under root 2. After solving these values, we are going to have 30 under root 2, and this is going to be our final answer. Part C of the question, express 0.3636 continuous in the form of a over b, where a and b are integers and b is not equals to 0. Okay, this is the repeating decimal problem. We know that repeating decimals are the decimals that has got no end. We can write 0.3636 as 0.36 with dots, meaning 3 and 6 repeats. Okay, so now let x equals to 0.36. We call this as our equation number 1. Okay, so next let us multiply 100 both sides. Since we have two numbers which are repeating, we are going to have 100x equals to 36.36, and this is going to be our equation number 2. Remember, 3 and 6 continues to repeat. Take equation 2 minus equation 1, we are going to have 100x minus x equals to 36.36 minus 0.36, which is going to equal 99x equals to 36. Let us now divide by 99 both sides. We are going to have x equals to 36 over 99. Simplifying this, we are going to have x equals to 4 over 11. Therefore, this is going to be our final answer. Okay, so we are moving on to question number 3, part A. Factorize the following expressions. Okay, so Roman 1, we have 16y squared plus xy minus 15x squared. Okay, so we see this is an algebra problem. Okay, so first let us take the product of coefficient of y squared and x squared, which are 16 and negative 15, and then we look for the two factors from this product that can be added to give the coefficient of x and y, which is 1. Then the product is 16 times negative 15, and the two factors are 16 and negative 15. Then we can split the middle term as 16xy minus 15xy. So our equation is going to be 16y squared plus 16xy minus 15xy minus 15x squared. Separate the terms. We are going to have in brackets 16y squared plus 16xy minus in brackets 15xy plus 15x squared. Let us now factor out common terms from each expression. We are going to have 16y in brackets y plus x minus 15x in brackets y plus x. Okay, so next let us factor out y plus x from the whole expression. We are going to have in brackets y plus x times in brackets 16y minus 15x, and this is the final expression. Okay, so for Roman 2, we are supposed also to factorize 4 minus in brackets 3x minus 1 squared. Okay, so first let us express 4 in exponent form. We are going to have 2 squared minus in brackets 3x minus 1 squared. Then this is a different of 2 square, and it can be factorized as in brackets 2 plus 3x minus 1 times in brackets 2 minus in brackets 3x minus 1. Let us now combine the terms inside the brackets. We are going to have in brackets 1 plus 3x times in brackets 3 minus 3x. Let us factor out 3 from 3 minus 3x. We are going to have 3 in brackets 1 plus 3x and in brackets 1 minus x, and this is the final expression. Okay, so for part B of the question, at Moiva's graduation ceremony, 45 people drank Pepsi, 80 drank Coca-Cola, and 35 drank both Pepsi-Cola and Coca-Cola. Okay, by using a Venn diagram, we are supposed to find how many people were at the ceremony if each person drank Pepsi-Cola or Coca-Cola. Okay, so this is a set problem, and let us proceed as follows. So we have been given this below data. People who drink both are 35. People drank Pepsi Cola only, 45 minus 35, which equals to 10. People drank Coca-Cola only equals to 80 minus 35, which equals to 45. Okay, so let us now represent this information in a Venn diagram. Okay, so first let us sketch. Okay, so we have one round for Pepsi Cola and another shape for Coca-Cola, and then we are saying that those who drink Pepsi Cola only are 10. The one who drinks both drinks are 35. Those one who drinks Coca-Cola only are 45. Okay, so the total number of people is going to be 10 plus 35 plus 45, which after summing the values, we are going to have 9 people. So these are the total number of peoples. Okay, so question number 4a, given the three vectors a equals to 4ai plus 6j, b equals to 4i plus 10j, and c equals to 2i plus 4j, determine the magnitude of their resultant. Okay, so this is the vector problem, and to find the magnitude of the resultant, we first find the resultant vector by summing up the three vectors. Okay, so we are going to have resultant denoted as r equals to a plus b plus c. Let us now take the values from the question. We are going to have r equals to 4i plus 6j plus 4i plus 10j plus 2i plus 4j. After solving the values, we are going to have r equals to 10i plus 20j. Okay, so then the magnitude of r is given as r magnitude equals to under root 10 squared plus 20 squared, of which after solving the values, we are going to have under root 500, and this is the magnitude of a resultant. Okay, so for part B of the question, Camila walks 5 km northwest, then 3 km due east, and afterwards 2 km due south. represent these displacements together with the resultant displacement graphically using the scale 1 unit equals to 1 kilometer. Okay, so again, this is the vector problem. To represent graphically, we consider 1 centimeter in a paper represent 1 kilometer in a ground for each. Okay, so let us represent the problem graphically. So here we are going to have 0 as a starting point. So the first steps here are 5 kilometer this direction, and then this way is 3 kilometers, and this way is 2 kilometers, and here we say this is our point A, and this is B, and this is C, and this line represents the resultant. Okay, so by measuring, the length of a resultant OC equals to 4.1 centimeter. Since 1 centimeter represents 1 kilometer, then the length of a determinant is 4.1 kilometers. And this is our final answer. Okay, so part C of the question, show that triangle ABC is a right-angled triangle where A equals to -2, -1, B equals to 2, 1, and C equals to 1, 3. Okay, so this is the geometric problem, and we have to remember that right-angled triangle obeys Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so let us sketch the problem. Find the distance between points and apply the distance into the theorem to see if they obey. Okay, so let us sketch our triangle, and we have our points A. Here we label -2, -1. Our point B here is 2, 1, and here is C with a 1, 3. Okay, so using the distance formula, we are going to have the values as D equals to under root in brackets x2 minus x1 squared plus in brackets y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so let us take point A and B, and we are going to call that as a distance D1. We are going to have D1 equals to under root in brackets -2 -2 squared plus in brackets -1 minus 1 squared, which equals to under root 20. Okay, so next let us take point A and C. We are going to call this as a distance D2. We are going to have D2 equals to under root in brackets -2 minus 1 squared plus in brackets -1 minus 3 squared, which after solving we are going to have under root 25. Okay, so next let us take point B and C. We are going to call this as D3. Then the distance between these 2 points is going to be D3 equals to under root in brackets 2 minus 1 squared plus 1 minus 3 squared equals to under root 5. Okay, so from Pythagoras theorem, c squared equals to a squared plus b squared. Okay, substitute d2 as c, d1 as a, and d3 as b. We are going to have d2 squared equals to d1 squared plus d3 squared. Okay, so let us just apply the values we have obtained above. We are going to have under root 25 squared equals to under root 20 squared plus under root 5 squared. Okay, compute these values. We are going to have 25 equals to 25. Okay, so since our left hand side equals to our right hand side, then this is a right angled triangle. Okay, so question number 5a. In the figure below, AB equals to 10 centimeter, AX equals to 6 centimeter, CX equals to 8 centimeter, and AB is parallel to DC. Okay, so Roman 1, we are supposed to show whether triangle AXB and CXD are similar or not. Okay, so let us use the theorems to show whether triangles AXB and CXD are similar or not. Okay, so first we say angle XAB equals to XCD. They are alternate interior angles since line AB and DC are parallel. Okay, also we are saying angle XBA equals to XDC because they are alternate interior angles since line AB and DC are parallel. Also, we are saying angle AXB equals to DXC because vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay, so since all three corresponding angles are equal, then triangles are similar by theorem AAA, meaning all three corresponding angles are equal. For Roman 2, we are supposed to find the length of line CD. Okay, since triangles AXB and CXD are similar, then the corresponding sides are proportional, meaning they have a constant ratio. So we can show that as AX over CX equals to XB over XD, which also equals to AB over CD. Okay, so let us consider this one. AX over CX equals to AB over CD. Let us substitute the values from the figure. We are going to have 6 over 8 equals to 10 over CD. Okay, so let us just cross multiplication these equations. We are going to have 6 CD equals to 8 times 10. Okay, dividing by 6 both sides, we are going to have CD equals to 8 times 10 over 6. Okay, so computing these values, we are going to have CD equals to 13.33 centimeters. And this is our answer. Okay, and for Roman 3, find the ratio of the areas of triangle AXB and CXD. Okay, so the ratio of area over similar triangles can be simply obtained by squaring the constant ratio of the sides. So we can show that as the ratio of area equals to AX over CX squared equals to 6 over 8 squared, which after solving this one we are going to have 9 over 16, and this is our answer. Okay, so part B, using a ruler and a compass, construct an angle of 90 degrees. Okay, this is the geometry problem. Let us proceed constructing as instructed. Okay, so first we start by drawing the horizontal line with the center O. And then next we fixed our divider and mark point M and N. And then we draw the curved lines that intersect at Q. Okay, so next using the ruler, connect point O and Q. Then angle QOM is right angle. So our angle is constructed. Also, we can verify the result by measuring angle QOM by using a protractor. Okay, so question number 6A. In the preparation of Fanta orange drink, a bottling filling machine can fill 1,500 bottles in 45 minutes. How many bottles will it fill in 4.5 hours? Okay, so this is the variation problem. From the problem, we can say that number of bottles is directly proportional to time taken, of which symbolically we can say n is directly proportional to t. Okay, so let us now introduce k as a constant of proportionality. We are going to have n equals to k times t. Okay, so let us make k as a subject. We are going to have k equals to n over t. Substitute n equals to 1,500 and t equals to 45. We are going to have k equals to 1,500 over 45. After solving this, we are going to have 100 over 3. Okay, so now we have values of a constant k. We can now find number of bottles when the time is 4.5 hours, which is equivalent to 270 minutes. Then our equation is going to be k equals to n over t. Okay, so applying the values, we are going to have 100 over 3 equals to n over 270. Let us now cross multiplication these values. We are going to have 3n equals to 100 times 270. Okay, divide by 3 both sides. We are going to have n equals to 9,000. Okay, so therefore 9,000 bottles will fill in 4.5 hours. Okay, so part B of the question, if x varies directly as y and evenly as w, find the values of a and b in the table below. Okay, so we have been given several values of x, y, and w in the table, and we also know this is the variation problem. We have been told that x varies directly as y and x varies inversely as w. Let us write this symbolically. We are going to have x is directly proportional to y and inversely proportional to w. Okay, so next let us introduce proportionality constant k. We are going to have x equals to k times y over w. Okay, so next let us make k as a subject. We are going to have k equals to wx over y. Okay, let us substitute the values. We have x equals to 8, y equals to 4, and w equals to 2 from the table to find the value of k. So we are going to have k equals to 2 times 8 over 4, which after solving this we are going to have 4. Okay, so next to find a, let us substitute x equals to 6, y equals to a, w equals to 3 from the table, and k equals to 4. Then we are going to have 4 equals to 3 times 6 over a. Okay, calculate the value of a here. We are going to have a equals to 4.5. And also to find the value of b, let us substitute x equals to b, y equals to 2, and w equals to 4 from the table, and k equals to 4. Then our equation is going to be 4 equals to 4 times b over 2. Okay, solving for b here, we are going to have b equals to 2. Therefore, a equals to 4.5 and b equals to 2, and these are our answers. Okay, so we are moving on to question number 7. A computer is advertised in a shop as having a list price of 2.5 million plus value added tax of 20%. The sales manager offers a discount of 25% before adding the VAT. Okay, so part A of the question, find the list price including VAT. Okay, so this is the percentage word problem. The list price including VAT equals to 2.5 million plus 20% of 2.5 million as VAT. So we are going to have 2.5 million plus 20 over 100 times 2.5 million, which after solving the values we are going to have 3 million. Okay, so part B of the question, we are supposed to calculate the amount of discount before VAT is added. Okay, so the amount of discount before VAT is added is equal to 25% of 2.5 million, which equals to 25 over 100 times 2.5 million, of which after solving this one we are going to have 625,000 shillings. Okay, and the final part C of the question, we are supposed to calculate the reduced final price of the computer. Okay, so the reduced final price of a computer is going to be 2.5 million minus 25% of 2.5 million as a discount plus 20% of 2.5 million as VAT. So we are going to have 2.5 million minus 25 over 100 times 2.5 million plus 20 over 100 times 2.5 million. Okay, so after solving the values, we are going to have 2,375,000, and this is our answer. Okay, so question number 8, part A. If the sum of n terms of a geometric progression with the first term 1 and common ratio 1/2 is 31/16, find the number of terms. Okay, so this is the geometric progression problem. We have been given first term G1 equals to 1, the common ratio R equals to 1/2. We are supposed to find the number of terms n. Okay, so let us recall the formula, which says Sn equals to G1 in brackets R power n minus 1 over R minus 1. Okay, so let us substitute the values which we have. We are going to have 31/16 equals to 1 in brackets 1/2 power n minus 1 over 1/2 minus 1. Okay, so next let us simplify the right hand side. We are going to have 31/6 equals to 2 times in brackets negative in brackets 1/2 power n plus 1. Okay, so next let us divide by 2 both sides and make 1/2 power n as a subject. We are going to have 1/2 power n equals to 1/32. Okay, so next let us express the right hand side as exponent of base 1 over 2. We are going to have 1 over 2 power n equals to 1 over 2 power 5. Okay, so next let us compare the exponents. Since the base are the same, we are going to have n equals to 5, and this is the number of terms. Okay, so part B of the question, how many integers are there between 14 and 1000 which are divisible by 17? This is a arithmetic progression problem. Okay, so for integers between 14 and 1000, the number that can be divided by 17 starts at 17. This implies that our first term, A1, is 17, and the common difference, D, is 17. Therefore, our integers will be 17, 34, 51, and so on up to 986. By making analysis on the trend number of terms, n equals to 58. Okay, so question number 9. In the figure below, AE equals to 20 meter, EB equals to 20 times under root 2 meter, and DAE equals to 45 degrees. Okay, part A, we are supposed to find the length DE, AD, and AB. Okay, so this is the geometry problem. Let us start by finding the length DE. We are going to use a sine formula. Okay, so the sine formula says sine theta equals to opposite side, in our case is DE, over hypotenuse side, in our case is going to be AE. Okay, so given from our question, theta equals to angle DAE, which equals to 45 degrees, and AE equals to 20 meters. Okay, so let us substitute these values in our formula. We are going to have sine 45 degrees equals to DE over 20. Okay, so next let us make DE as a subject. We are going to have DE equals to 20 times sine 45 degrees. So reading the value of sine 45 degrees from the table and times 20, we are going to have DE equals to 14.14 meters. Okay, so next let us find the length AD, which we are going to use a cosine formula. Okay, so the formula says cos theta equals to adjacent side, which in our case is AD, over hypotenuse side, which our case is AE. Okay, so from the question, given theta equals to angle DAE, which equals to 45 degrees, and AE equals to 20 meter. Okay, so next let us substitute these values in our formula. We are going to have cos 45 degrees equals to AD over 20. Okay, so next let us make AD as a subject. We are going to have AD equals to 20 times cos 45 degrees. Okay, so reading the value of cos 45 degrees from the table and we multiply with 20, we are going to have AD equals to 14.14 meter. Okay, so our next length is AB. Okay, so for this one, let us consider triangle ADB, and then let us apply the Pythagoras theorem, which says AB squared equals to AD squared plus DB squared, but DB equals to DE plus EB, which equals to 14.14 plus 20 times under root 2. Okay, so reading the value of under root 2 from the table and summing this expression, we are going to have dB equals to 42.42. Okay, so let us go back to the theorem which says AB squared equals to 14.14 squared plus 42.42 squared. Okay, so computing the values from our right hand side, we are going to have AB squared equals to 1999.4. Okay, so next let us apply the square root. We are going to have AB equals to under root 1999.4. Okay, so read from the table, we are going to have AB equals to 44.71 meter. Okay, so from there we have all the needed values from the question. Okay, part B of the question, we are supposed to find the area of triangle ABE, leaving the answer in third form. Okay, so we can see from our figure, area of a triangle ABE equals to area of a triangle ADB minus area of a triangle ADE. Okay, so let us take the values. We are going to have 1 over 2 times AD times DB minus 1 over 2 times AD times DE. Okay, so let us take the values which we have. We are going to have 1 over 2 times 14.14 times 42.42 minus 1 over 2 times 14.14 times 14.14. Okay, so after solving the values, we are going to have 199.94, which is approximated to 200. Okay, so therefore the area is going to be 2 times 10 squared meter squared, and this is going to be our final answer in third form. Okay, so question number 10a, solve the equation 4x squared minus 32x plus 12 equals to 0 by using the quadratic formula. Okay, so this is the quadratic equation. Let us just recall the quadratic formula, which says x equals to minus b plus or minus under root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, so from our equation, we have been given a is 4, b is minus 32, and c is 12. Okay, so next let us just substitute these values into our equation. We are going to have x equals to negative, in brackets, negative 32 plus or minus under root, in brackets, negative 32 squared minus 4 times 12 over 2 times 4. Okay, so computing these values, we are going to have x equals to 32 plus or minus under root 832 over 8. Okay, so we can keep on simplifying this. We are going to have x equals to 32 plus or minus under root 13 over 8. Let us keep simplifying this. We are going to have x equals to 4 plus or minus under root 13. Okay, so therefore x equals to 4 plus under root 13 or x equals to 4 minus under root 13. And those are our answers. Okay, so part B of the question, Anna is 6 years younger than her brother Jerry. If the product of their ages is 135, find how old is Anna and Jerry. Okay, so this is the algebra problem. So let us assume x equals to Jerry's age. Then Anna's age is going to be x minus 6. The product of their age is 135, so we are going to have x times, in brackets, x minus 6, which equals to 135. Okay, so next let us expand our left hand side. We are going to have x squared minus 6x equals to 135. Okay, let us write this in a standard quadratic equation form. We are going to have x squared minus 6x minus 135 equals to 0. Okay, let us apply the quadratic formula to solve for x, which says x equals to negative b plus or minus under root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, so from our equation, a equals to 1, b equals to negative 6, and c equals to negative 135. Okay, so let us just substitute these values in our formula. We are going to have x equals to negative, in brackets, negative 6 plus or minus under root in brackets negative 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times, in brackets, negative 135 over 2 times 1. Okay, so computing these values, we are going to have x equals to 3 plus or minus 12. Okay, so from this one, we see that x is going to be 3 plus 12, which equals to 15, or x is going to be 3 minus 15, which equals to 12. Okay, so we are just going to take positive value, which is x equals to 15, because age cannot be negative. So therefore Jerry's age is going to be 15 years, and Anna's age is going to be 15 minus 6, which equals to 9 years. Okay, so question number 11. Zelda wants to buy oranges and mangoes for her children. The oranges are sold at 150 each, and the mangoes at 200 each. She must buy at least 2 of each kind of fruits, but her shopping bag cannot hold more than 10 fruits. If the owner of the shop makes a profit of 40 shillings on each orange and 60 shillings on each mango, determine how many fruits of each kind Zelda must buy for the shop owner to realize maximum profit. Okay, so this is the linear programming problem. Let us just follow the below steps to solve the problem. Okay, so first let us choose the variables. So we are going to let x be number of oranges bought and y be mangoes bought. Okay, so next let us form inequalities. We first introduce non-negative inequalities since number of fruits cannot be 0. So we are having x is greater or equal to 0 and y is greater or equal to 0. Okay, so next Zelda bought at least 2 of each type of fruits, meaning x and y are both greater or equal to 2. So our other inequalities are going to be x is greater or equal to 2 and y is greater or equal to 2. Also, we have to remember that we have been told the shopping bag cannot hold more than 10 fruits, which means that the sum of x and y must be less or equal to 10. So our inequality is going to be x plus y is less or equal to 10. Okay, so let us now form the boundary lines. From the inequalities we form the boundary lines. Our lines are going to be x equals to 2, y equals to 2, and x plus y equals to 10. Okay, so next let us form the objective function. Okay, since the aim is to realize the maximum profit, we have profit for each fruit. The objective function is going to be function x, y max equals to 40x plus 60y. For here, we need to find the possible values of x and y that will give maximum value of the function. The values can be obtained from the graph. Okay, so next let us now draw the graph. We use boundary lines to draw the graph. Okay, so starting by shading region for non-negative inequalities, x is greater or equal to 0 and y is greater or equal to 0. Okay, so our next line, x plus y equals to 10, we are going to use intercept method to find the 2 points on the line. So when x equals to 0, y is going to be 10. Our point is 0, 10. And then when y equals to 0, our x is going to be 10. So our point is 10, 0. Okay, so now we draw the lines and shade the region according to its boundary lines. Okay, next we draw lines x equals to 2 and y equals to 2 and shade according to their inequalities. Our final graph is going to be like this. Okay, so now we have the feasible region and the corner points that give us the possible solutions. To find out which is the best solution, let us summarize this in the table. Okay, so we sketch our table. We have the corner points here, and then here we have our maximum function of x, y, which equals to 40x plus 6y. Okay, so taking the points from our graph, point A is 2, 2, point B is 8, 2, and point C is 2, 8. Okay, so solving the maximum function for point A, the value is going to be 200. For point B, the value is going to be 440. For point C, the value is going to be 560. Okay, so point C gives the maximum value of the function, which is the profit. Okay, so therefore Zelda must buy and 80 mangoes for the shop owner to realize the maximum profit. Okay, so question number 12. The heights of 50 plants recorded by a certain researcher are given below. Okay, so we have been given several data from our question. So, part A, we are supposed to copy and complete this tally table for the data given. Okay, so let us just copy the table from our question. We are going to sketch our table. Okay, so our table is going to have 3 columns. Column for height, column for tally, and column for frequency as given from the question. Okay, so let us just complete copying the groups given. So the first one is going to be 21 up to 30. Then this one is 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60, 61 to 70, 71 to 80, 81 to 90, and the last one is 91 to 100. Okay, so for the next part, to complete the table, we just count the data and fill tally column for each data as / and for frequency, we just count the total number of tally in a particular row as follows. Okay, so for the first group, having data from 21 to 30, if we go to our data given and count the number of data belonging to this group, okay, so let us just count. We have this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so our tally is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so next we can just use the same approach of counting the data from the given group and fill the tally figure. Okay, so for the next group, our tally is 1, 2. Okay, the next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. The next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are just 6. Okay, so the last group is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 items in the last group. Okay, so finally, let us complete the frequency column by just counting the total number of tally in a particular row. So for the first one, here is 5, and here is 2, here is 11, here is 6, here is 6, and here is 10, here is 6, and the last one is 4. And this is the completed tally table requested. Part B of the question, we are supposed to draw a histogram for the height of the plants. Okay, so we know that histogram is the rectangular bar graph and it is drawn by frequency against class mark. Let us add the class mark column by finding average of a lower limit and upper limit for each class interval. Okay, so we have our class mark column added, and then to find a class mark, let's say for this first group, we just take 21 plus 30 divided by 2, which equals to 25.5. Okay, so using the same approach, let us proceed filling the class mark for the next groups. So the next one is going to be 35.5. Next is 45.5. Then 55.5. Here is 65.5. Here is 75.5. And here is 85.5. And the last one is 95.5. Okay, now let us draw the histogram. So we sketch the line for class mark noted as X, and then we also sketch a line for frequency noted as F. Okay, so next let us just fill the values for class mark. So here we have 25.5, 35.5, 45.5, 55.5, 65.5, 75.5, 85.5, and the last one is 95.5. Okay, so next let us just fill the values for frequency here. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and here is 11. Okay, so let us just complete drawing our histogram by drawing this rectangular bar against each class mark, and this is the histogram requested. Okay, so part C of the question, we are supposed to find the mean height of the plants, and we have been told not to use the assumed mean method. Okay, so to find the mean, let us add another column which we name it as fx, and this column is going to be the product of frequency and a class mark. Okay, so for example, for the first group, to find the value of fx, we just take 25.5 times 5. Okay, after multiplying this, we are going to have 127.5. Okay, so using the same approach, let us fill the remaining figures. We are going to have 71, and here is 500.5. Next is 333. The next one is 393. The next one is 755. The next one is 513. And the last one is 382. Okay, so next let us just find the summation of fx, which is when after adding all these values, we are going to have 3075. Okay, so now to find the mean, we are going to use the formula which says x bar equals to summation of fx over summation of f. Okay, so let us just find the summation of f and fill up in our table. Okay, so summing all these values for frequency, we are going to have summation of f equals to 50. Okay, so let us now substitute these values into our equation. We are going to have x bar equals to 3075 over 50, of which after solving the values, we are going to have 61.5. Therefore, our mean is 61.5 centimeter. Okay, so for part B, we are supposed to find the median of the heights of the plants. Okay, so to find the median, let us add another column in our table. So we add the cumulative frequency column. Okay. Okay, so for the first group, the cumulative frequency is 5. For the second one, we just take this 5 plus 2, which equals to 7. For the third one is 18. Next is 24. Next is 30. Next is 40. Next one is 46. And the last one is 50. Okay, so next we need to identify the middle class by taking sum of frequencies divided by 2, which we are saying n over 2 equals to 50 over 2, of which after solving the values we are going to have 25. From the cumulative column, 25 lies within 30 datum. Therefore, the middle class is 61 to 70. And from this one, we can now find the median by using the formula which says median equals to L plus, in brackets, n over 2 minus FB over FM times C, whereby L is lower real limit, which equals to 61 plus 0.5, which after solving the values we are going to have 61.5. FB is a sum of frequencies below the middle class, which is 24. FM is a frequency of the middle class, which is 6. C is a class size, which is 10. Okay, now let us substitute these values in our formula. We are going to have median equals to 61.5 plus, in brackets, 25 minus 24 over 6 times 10. Okay, so computing these values, we are going to have median equals to 63.167 centimeter, and this is our answer. Question number 13. In the figure below, BC is the diameter of the cycle, O is the center of the cycle, and side CD of the cyclic quadrilateral ABCD is produced to E. Okay, so part A, with reasons, name the right angles in this figure. Okay, so for this one, right angles are angle BAC and BDC, and the reasons are angle formed at the circumference is half the angle at the center in the same segment, and that is going to be our answer. Part B of the question, we are supposed to show that angle ADE equals to angle ABC. Okay, so from the figure, angle ABC plus angle ACB equals to 90. Angle ADB plus angle ADE equals to 90. This implies angle ABC plus angle ACB equals to angle ADB plus angle ADE. But angle ACB equals to angle ADB because they both formed with the same segment AB. Then angle ADE equals to angle ABC. Therefore, this is shown. Okay, so part C of the question, if angle ADE equals to 60 and angle CAD equals to 25, find Roman 1 the value of angle ABD. Okay, so from the figure, angle ABC equals to angle ABD plus angle DBC. Let us call this as equation number 1. Okay, but we know that angle ADE equals to angle ABC, which equals to 60 as shown above, and also angle DBC equals to angle CAD, which equals to 25, since both are angle formed within the segment DC. Then our equation number 1 is going to be 60 equals to angle ABD plus 25. Solve for angle ABD, we are going to have angle ABD equals to 35, and this is our answer. And for Roman 2, we are supposed to find the length AB and BD, given that CB equals to 10 centimeter. Okay, so to find AB, let us consider triangle ABC with the indicated values. So let us just have a simple sketch of a triangle. So here we have A, B, and C, and this is the right angle triangle, and our value here is 60. The distance between B and C is 10 centimeter. Okay, now using a cosine formula which says cos theta equals to adjacent side AB over hypotenuse side BC. So our equation is going to be cos 60 equals to AB over 10. Okay, so let us just make AB as a subject. We are going to have AB equals to 10 times cos 60. And we know that cos 60 equals to 0.5. So substituting the values, we are going to have AB equals to 10 times 0.5, which after solving, we are going to have 5 centimeter. And also, to find BD, let us consider triangle BCD with indicated values. So we sketch our triangle, and we are going to have B, C, and D. This is the right angle. The value here is 25, and the distance between B and C is 10 centimeter. Okay, so using cosine formula, our adjacent side here is BD, and our hypotenuse side here is BC. Okay, so let us just substitute the values we are going to have. Cos 25 equals to BD over 10. Okay, so let us now make BD as a subject. We are going to have BD equals to 10 times cos 25. Reading cos 25 from the table, we are going to have BD equals to 10 times 0.9063. Solving the values, we are going to have BD equals to 9.063 centimeter. So now we have all the requested figures from the question. Okay, so question number 14, part A. What is the trial balance and what is its purpose? Okay, so the trial balance is the statement of all debit and credit balances formed during the period from different accounts. And the purpose of a trial balance is to ensure the entries in a company's bookkeeping system are mathematically correct. Okay, so Part B, on January 1st, 2015, Semolina Women Group started a business with a capital in cash of 2 million. Okay, so they made some transactions there. We are supposed to prepare the cash account and balance it, and then we are supposed to prepare the trial balance. Okay, so just as a recap, a cash account is a ledger in which all cash transactions are recorded. It has a debit and a credit side. Okay, so let us just prepare it. Okay, so let us sketch our account. Our account has two sides. So here we say it is debit and here is credit. So on our debit side, we are going to have 4 columns, as well as on our credit side. Okay, so let us just label our columns. So here is date, particular, folio, amount. We are going to have the same headings on the other side. So here again is date, particular, folio, amount. Okay, so next, let us start picking transactions and filling our cash book. Okay, so for the 1st January 2015, we record the cash capital of 2 million. And then on the 2nd January, we record the purchases of 1.4 million. And then on 3rd, we record cash sales of 1 million. Next, we record purchases of goods for cash of 600,000. Next, we record payment of rent for cash 220,000. And next we record the wages payment by cash 220,000. On 15th, we record the cash sales of 620,000. Okay, so now we have all the transactions given. Let us just complete our cash account by finding the summation on the debit side. The total here is going to be 3,620,000. Okay, so let us take this value on the credit side as well, and we are going to use it to find the closing balance figure. Okay, so here our balance carried down figure is going to be 1,180,000, and this is going to be the same value on the following period as balance brought down, 1,180,000, and this is our cash book. Roman 2, we are supposed to prepare the trial balance. Okay, so we are going to prepare a trial balance in such a way that all debits from the cash account are recorded in credit side, because these accounts balance is credit side, and all credit from the cash account are recorded in a debit side in a trial balance, because they have a balance in a debit side. Okay, so let us just prepare. We are sketching our table. Our table is going to have 4 columns. So the first one is particular, then is folio, debit, and credit. Okay, so we have a cash account balance is 1,180,000. We have capital account balance is 2 million. We have purchases account balance is 2 million. Sales account balance is 1,620,000. We have rent account balance is 220,000. And the last one, we have wages account. The balance is 220,000. Okay, so after summing the debit side and the credit side, our total is going to be 3,620,000 on the debit side. The same amount is going to appear on the credit side, and our trial balance has balanced. Question number 15A. Find the inverse and identity matrix of A, 6 minus 2, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the matrix problem. To find an inverse of a matrix A, that is A inverse, we first need to find the determinant of matrix. And determinant of a matrix is found as a product of main diagonal minus product of leading diagonal. So for our case, D is going to be 6 times 5 minus, in brackets, minus 2 times 4, which equals to 38. Okay, so next, let us find the adjoint of A by exchanging elements in main diagonal and negate or applying the negative sign in a leading diagonal. So we are going to have adjoint A equals to 5, 2, negative 4, and 6. Then inverse of a matrix equals to product of reciprocal of determinant and adjoint matrix. So our equation is going to be A inverse equals to 1 over D times adjoint of A. Okay, so taking the values above, we are going to have A inverse equals to 1 over 38 times matrix 5, 2, negative 4, 6. Okay, so next let us apply scalar multiplication of a matrix. We are going to have A inverse equals to matrix 5 over 38, 2 over 38, negative 4 over 38, and 6 over 38. Okay, let us now just simplify the elements. We are going to have A inverse equals to 5 over 38, 1 over 19, negative 2 over 19, and 3 over 19. And this is the required matrix. Okay, so for the second part of the question, we are supposed to find the identity matrix. So identity matrix equals to product of a matrix and its inverse. Since it is 2 by 2 matrix, then product will give a matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. Therefore, identity matrix is going to be matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. And this is going to be our answer for the second part of the question. Part B of the question, triangle OAB has vertices at 0, 0, 2, A, 2, 1, and B, negative 1, 3. If the triangle is enlarged by E equals to 2, 0, 0, 2, and then translated by T equals to negative 3, negative 5, find the vertices of the triangle. Okay, so let us just have the given points. So we have point O, 0, 0, point A, 2, 1, point B minus 1, 3. Okay, so let us find image for each point for enlargement E, which equals to 2, 0, 0, 2. Okay, so from relation, image equals to enlargement matrix times point. Okay, so starting with point O, 0, 0, image O is going to be matrix 2, 0, 0, 2 times 0, 0. Okay, so let us apply multiplication of a matrix. We will just get matrix 0, 0. So image of O equals to matrix 0, 0. Okay, so our next point is A, which have 2, 1. Then A image equals to matrix 2, 0, 0, 2 times matrix 2, 1. Okay, so let us just apply multiplication of a matrix. We are going to have A image equals to matrix 2 times 2 plus 0 times 1, 0 times 2 plus 2 times 1, which after solving the values, we are going to have A image equals to matrix 4, 2. Okay, so our next point is point B, having minus 1, 3. So B image is going to be matrix 2, 0, 0, 2 times minus 1, 3. Okay, so let us just apply multiplication of a matrix. We are going to have B image equals to matrix 2 times negative 1 plus 0 times 3, 0 times minus 1 plus 2 times 3. After solving the values, we are going to have B image equals to matrix minus 2, 6. Okay, so now let us translate the image points using translation factor minus 1, 3. Using translation relation, so we are saying image equals to point plus translation factor. Okay, so let us start with point O. We are going to have O double dash equals to matrix 0, 0 plus matrix minus 3 minus 5, which after solving we are going to have matrix minus 3 minus 5. Okay, so next is image of A with points 4, 2. Our A double dash is going to be 4, 2 plus matrix minus 3 minus 5, which after solving it we are going to have matrix 1 minus 3. So our next point is image of B with minus 2, 6. So B double dash is going to be matrix negative 2, 6 plus matrix negative 3, negative 5. After solving these values, we are going to have matrix negative 5 and 1. Okay, so therefore, the final vertices are minus 3, minus 5, 1, minus 3, and minus 5, 1. And these are the answers. For part C of the question, we are supposed to draw on the same XY plane a triangle OAB and the images after being enlarged and then after being translated. Okay, so let us just list the coordinates of these triangles. So our original triangle OAB, the points are for O it is 0, 0, A it is 2, 1, and B it is negative 1, 3. Okay, so for the enlargement, our points are going to be O dash is 0, 0, A dash is 4, 2, and B dash is negative 2, 6. And for the translated part, points for O double dash equals to negative 3, negative 5. For A double dash, our points are 1, negative 3. And for B double dash, our points are negative 5, 1. Okay, so let us sketch. So this line is for X values and the other one is for Y values. Okay, so let us just label the values for X. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here is 0, and on the other side is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and negative 6. And also for the Y line, we have 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And also on the other side, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, and so on. So for the triangle OAB, our vertices are going to be, O is going to be here at 0, 0. A is going to be here, 2, 1. And B is going to be here, negative 1, 3. Okay, so for the enlarged triangle, our points are going to be, O is going to be here, A is going to be here, and B is going to be here. So we can just connect these lines to form a triangle. And last, for the translated triangle, our O is going to be here, A is going to be here, and B is going to be here. And connecting them, we are going to have, and this is going to be our sketch. Question number 16, part A. A function f is defined on the set of integers as follows. Okay, so there are several values for the function of x. Okay, so Roman 1, we are supposed to draw a pictorial diagram for function of x. Okay, so for this part, this is the step function problem. And to draw the function, we need to draw the functions given one at a time in the same plane. Okay, let us start by finding points forming for each line. So we have function of x equals to 1 plus x, with values of x as 1 less or equal to x and less or equal to 2. Now let function of x equals to y, then y equals to 1 plus x. Okay, so next let us get values of y by substituting values of x in our equation. We are going to have, let us just draw this table, which we have x and y. So we are having 1 and 2, and then we are saying when x is 1, y is going to be 2. And also when x is 2, y is going to be 3. Okay, so next we have another function of x which equals to 2x minus 1, with values of x as 2 less or equal to x and less or equal to 4. Okay, let function of x equals to y. Then our equation is going to be y equals to 2x minus 1. Okay, so now let us get the value of y by substituting values of x in our equation. So we have x and y, and then the values are 2 and 4, and then when x is equal to 2, the value of y equals to 3, and for the 4, the value of y is 7. Okay, so next we also have another function of x which equals to 3x minus 10 with values of x as 4 less or equal to x less or equal to 6. Okay, so let function of x equals to y. Then our equation is going to be y equals to 3x minus 10. Okay, let us now get the values of y by substituting values of x in our equation. We are going to have x, y, and then the values for x are 4 and 6, and then when x is 4, y is going to be 2, and also when x is 6, y is going to be 8. Okay, so now we have points for each function. Let us now draw the graph. Okay, something to remember is the points are drawn with the shaded circles to show that the points are included due to the use of a greater or equal sign. Okay, so let us sketch our x and our y line. For the x, we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And also for the y, we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so let us just label the points which we are having by drawing a shaded circle for all the 4 points which we have, and then we are just going to connect the dots, and our final sketch is going to be like this. For Roman 2, we are supposed to find the domain and range of function of x. Okay, so we have to recall that domain are values of x and range are values of y in a function. Okay, so from this graph, domain is such that 1 is less or equal to x and x is less or equal to 6. Symbolically, we can say domain equals to x colon 1 less or equal to x less or equal to 6. And also, range is such that 2 is less or equal to y and y is less or equal to 8. Symbolically, we say range equals to y double colon 2 less or equal to y less or equal to 8. And those are our answers. Part B of the question, given that function of x equals to 5x plus 7 over x plus 2, find inverse function of 4. Okay, so to find the inverse function of 4, let us first find the inverse function of x. Okay, so let y equals to inverse function of x. Okay, so our equation is going to be y equals to 5x plus 7 over x plus 2. Okay, interchange the variables x and y. We are going to have x equals to 5y plus 7 over y plus 2. Okay, so next, using cross multiplication for this equation, we are going to have x times, in brackets, y plus 2 equals to 5y plus 7. Okay, now let us expand the expression on our left hand side. We are going to have xy plus 2x equals to 5y plus 7. Okay, let us combine the terms which contain y. We are going to have xy minus 5y equals to 7 minus 2x. Let us factor out y on the left hand side. We are going to have y times, in brackets, x minus 5 equals to 7 minus 2x. Okay, let us now divide x minus 5 from both sides. We are going to have y equals to 7 minus 2x over x minus 5. Okay, now let y equals to inverse function of x. So, inverse function of x equals to 7 minus 2x over x minus 5. Okay, now let us substitute x with 4 to find the inverse function of 4. We are going to have inverse function of 4 equals to 7 minus 2 times 4 over 4 minus 5. Okay, so after solving the values, we are going to have 1. And this is our answer. Part C of the question: in a yard, there are 500 vehicles, of which 160 are cars, 130 are vans, and the remaining are lorries. If every vehicle has an equal chance to live, find the probability of Roman 1, a van living first. Okay, so this is the probability problem, and we have to recall that a probability of an event equals to number of events over number of sample space. Okay, so for a probability for a van living first, we are going to have probability of a van equals to number of vans vehicles over total number of vehicles, of which is going to be 130 over 500. After solving these values, we are going to have 13 over 50. And this is our requested probability. Roman 2, we are supposed to find the probability of a lorry living first. Okay, so for this one, probability of a lorry equals to number of lorries vehicles over total number of vehicles. Okay, so number of lorries is going to be 500 minus in brackets 130 plus 160, of which probability of lorry is going to be 210 over 500. After solving the values, we are going to have 21 over 50, and this is the probability. For Roman 3, we are supposed to find the probability a car leaving second if either a lorry or a van had left first. Okay, so let us assume probability of LF, which equals to probability of a lorry leaving first while car leaving second, and then we are going also to assume probability of VF, which we call it is a probability of van leaving first while car leaving second. and then we are going to assume probability of CS, meaning probability of car leaving second. Okay, now probability that a car leaving second if either a lorry or a van had left first. So we are going to have probability of event equals to P LF times P CS plus P VF times P CS. Okay, so our probability is going to be 210 over 500 times 160 over 490 plus 130 over 500 times 160 over 490. Okay, so solving for the values, we are going to have 272 over 1225, and this is going to be our final answer.